it's good to have. When I used to work for a big software company, I used to be a systems engineer, and we used to have what we call the disaster recovery plan. Back then, I was still young. I used to make fun of it because we had to like document a lot of stuff, keep backups. But when we were hacked, once we were hacked, you realize how effective it is, because as you were saying, usually if you are hacked, first thing, you're going to panic. So you're not going to, from where to start. But when you have some sort, I'm not saying every WordPress website should have like a complete documented disaster recovery plan like enterprises have. But as you said, you should have some sort of repository or at least a document, and maybe a copy of all the plugins you're using, maybe even if they're outdated, but at least, you're going to install them and then update them right away. But at least you have something to start with. Because when you're panicked, you're not going to,
yeah. And it makes sense for a lot of, I think one of the reasons people sometimes struggle with security is security on the whole is less about tools, and people want to make it about tools, because if they make it about tools, that's something they can install and configure and then not have to worry about it. And so much about security is about process and about people, and about making sure that the people know what they're meant to be doing, and making sure the people are doing what they're meant to be doing. And yeah, documenting stuff, as boring as it is. And this is a little bit where I like sort of look at things like compliance, various compliance standards, which if you want to be bored stiff, go read an ISO document on various stuff. And you don't need to go to that length. There are some businesses that have to. You don't have to go to that sort of length, but just thinking about it and going, okay, how do I I take these backups. How do I restore them? If I'm panicking, how do I sort? And how do I know the backup I've taken is a good backup? And when you start thinking in that mindset of how do I do this in a crisis, the next step of just like, I'll just jot that down somewhere